with a question. Based on some of the things that have been reported over the last 48 or 72 hours, I feel the need to say this and ask this. Are you appearing here today in any way because of any financial deal that you have made with this network? Are we paying you for this appearance in any way?
Matt Lauer interviews the Salahis on the Today Show and conveniently forgets to mention that NBC owns Bravo, the channel behind the Real Housewives series that the Salahis are hoping to star in. And now they want us to feel sorry for them?
No, you're not.
No, absolutely not.
All right, let me go then
and at no time, Matt, have we ever even talked about doing that with anyone.
The Salahis, who are in seclusion, were scheduled to tell their side of the story on tonight's Larry King Live. But that interview has since been scrapped.
Television executives have told some of my colleagues, as well as other news organizations, that the Salahis are seeking a six-figure deal.
But at the center of everything is a simple question, and the question is, were you or were you not invited to attend that state dinner? How do you answer that?
Well, we were invited, not crashers, and there isn't anyone that would have the audacity or the poor behavior to do that. The White House is the house, and no one would do that.
Who invited you?
And certainly not us.
Well,
yeah,
well, you know, Matt, one of the things that that we're doing is we're working closely with the Secret Service and their internal investigation.
You've heard the statement that was issued by Michelle Jones, who's a senior Pentagon official, who said, quote, "I did not state at any time or imply that I had tickets for any portion of the evening's events. I specifically stated they did not have tickets. In fact, that I did not have the authority to authorize attendance, admittance, access to any part of the evening's activities. Even though I informed them of this, they still decided to come." I've heard reports she even left a voicemail on your machine saying pretty much the same thing. Do you disagree with what Michelle Jones says in that statement?
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to definitely work with the Secret Service and you know, and our and you know, between Mikkel and I on this to really shed light on this, and we're going to be coming up to New York, sitting on your couch. We're going to show you documentation from emails that you know, you'll get a chance to see.
This documentation, Tarek, I want to see if I can be a little more specific on this. I know you've got these emails. Are these emails that are unequivocal in your mind, or are they open to interpretation? In other words, if anyone looks at these, are they going to say, wow, yes, they had clearance to attend, or might that be your point of view reading them, and other people might look and say, no, this is a game of semantics here?
No. In our view, it's clear to us, and based on the timeline, I think the American public is actually going to be extremely surprised with all the details that went from beginning to end into what was supposed to be a lovely, beautiful evening.
Lifetime memory.
You know, a lifetime memory.
For my money, there's one way this interview could have been redeemed. If only Michaela Salahi had looked at Tariq and echoed the words of Balloon Boy to his father. You said that we did this for a show, just before throwing up in his lap.
The Salahis had been in contact with Michelle Jones, a Pentagon-based White House liaison. The day before the state dinner, Jones emailed Tariq Salahi that she was still trying, but it doesn't seem likely. At 8:46 a.m., the day of the dinner, Jones wrote, "I will call or email as soon as I get word one way or another." Jones then left the Salahis a voicemail before the dinner saying they did not get an invitation. The Salahis say they didn't get that message until after the dinner because of a dead cell phone battery.
Hello?
Mikkel.
Hi, Stacy. Oh, my gosh.
How are you doing?
We are excited and really fantastic. We'll leave my phone. The less gadgets and things we have, the easier.
My phone died, so I'm going to switch over.
After the party, Mr. Salahi writes her a thank you email saying, Michelle, you're an angel. My cell phone battery died earlier this evening. I just now got your message after driving out. Obviously, it worked out in the end. Our name was indeed on the list. God bless you. Well, look, Lisa Guerrero, we all know you can check your cell phone voicemail from any phone, even if your cell's dead. So if she's waiting for an important call, getting all gussied up for 8 hours at a hair salon, wouldn't she just borrow a phone at the salon and call to check her voicemails before waltzing off to the White House?
You say you have the smoking gun that proves that you were in fact invited. What is it?
We were invited, and we had a White House official that we were corresponding with, and we have third-party witnesses, 3 of them, that all verify what we've said. And we've remained quiet for these past 6 months, and we certainly apologize to the President and the First Lady that the media has taken such an interest in us.
Well, I want to get to what you say is the proof. You call these the correspondence between officials, but most people, when they're invited to a party, the proof would be the invitation in hand. You didn't have that. The correspondence, and we've looked at the emails, say, give us your personal information, we're waiting a response. Most people would interpret that as, we'll let you know.
Right.
When you didn't hear, what made you believe you were in fact invited?
We had phoned several times the day of the event to our attorney, who was our connection, and then that evening we had phoned to ask. We had never been to a state dinner, so obviously, Lynn, we didn't know where to go. And my husband phoned at 5:30 and said, "We're, Tark and Mikhail Salahi. Where do we go?" And
yeah,
that's where
right.
it began.
That's right. I actually made a phone call after Mikhail was just finishing up at the hair salon, to our contact. When you ring that number that we called, it answers White House. And I said, it's Mr. Salahi, and we need to know exactly which gate.
And what did they tell you?
Oh, they said, well, please hold. And he came back on the phone about a minute later. He said, you need to be by the Treasury Department. It's right across from the Willard Hotel. Do you know where that is, Mr. Salahi? He said, yes. He said, what time should I be there exactly? He said, you really should be there at 6:30, 6:45, but don't be late.
But you still didn't have that invitation in hand.
Critics have called Tark and Mikhail Salahi shameless self-promoters, but finding ways to promote Virginia tourism was precisely Tark Salahi's role as a member of the State Tourism Board. Once involved in the family's Oasis winery, Salahi served at least 2 terms on the Virginia Wine Board before Governor Tim Kaine appointed him to the Virginia Tourism Corporation. And knowing Salahi, Kaine says he's not entirely surprised the couple's now accused of a brazen party crashing at the White House.
If somebody had said to me, hey, some Virginians tried to crash your party, there's 7.5 million Virginians, who do you think it might be? I think I might have been able to guess it within about 5 seconds.
Why is that?
Because he's such a promoter.
Salahis lawyers supplied NBC News with emails between the couple and a White House liaison to the Department of Defense. Michelle Jones, an Obama appointee who spoke at the 2008 Democratic Convention, was acquainted with the Salahis. The emails indicate Jones initially told the couple the state dinner was closed. At the end of the night, Mr. Salahi emailed Michelle Jones a message suggesting the couple showed up unsure of whether they were really invited. "Hi, Michelle, you are an angel. Obviously, it worked out at the end. We ended up going to the gate to just check in case it got approved since we didn't know, and our name was indeed on the list."
They always smell like mine. Yeah.
And our name was indeed on the list. Jones responds the next afternoon saying, quote, "Tarek, you are most welcome. Delighted that you and Mikhail had a wonderful time."
Well, the White House says that Michelle Jones responded that way to be polite and because she assumed the couple must have gotten tickets some other way since she didn't give them. And she says, the White House says that in no way do these emails change the bottom line. They did not get state tickets, and they say the emails don't change that at all.
For terrorists of all walks of life to be able to make the assessment, I can do it too. I'm saddened, I'm disappointed, and I'm outraged. And I would ask you to check your patriotism and to find out why you had to do something of that level. With that in mind, I do respect your constitutional rights. I respect them because I respect this nation. And I also respect the rights and responsibilities of this Congress and this committee. And so, sadly, I will ask the question that both of you can answer. You had a duty to inform the Secret Service officer that you were not an officially invited guest. You dressed the part with the intent of attending a state's dinner. You did not receive an official invite. Your backgrounds were not checked by the Secret Service. Your names did not appear on the guest list, and your request for an invitation from Michelle Jones was denied and rebuffed. Can you tell me what more did you need in order to understand that you were not invited?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully reserve my right to remain silent and decline to answer your question.
When you were advised at the gate that your name was not on the list, why did you continue to attempt to enter when you knew you did not have final confirmation?
On advice of counsel, I respectfully assert my right to remain silent and decline to answer your question.